Hey, everybody. Welcome to the YouTube Lead Gen Show, hosted by Christina Smallhorn and myself, Malcolm Lawson, and guest host Javier Vidana. Oh, I screwed that up, didn't I? Butchered it. All three of us have generated millions of views on YouTube, tens of thousands of subscribers, and hundreds of thousands of dollars in commission from leads that we generated from our real estate YouTube channels. And on this show, we mastermind about using YouTube in our real estate businesses. Javier, how are you today?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me this morning.
Absolutely, man. Christina?
I'm doing good. Malcolm, your audio went off, but Javier, I have to tell you, I like nobody
Why do
knows,
you
but
wait to tell me live? Why don't you just tell me, like, we literally were on the
I was just gonna say
messaging like
thank
5
you for
minutes
getting
ago.
up. I
You're
was
gonna
gonna
put me
say
on the spot.
no. I was just gonna say thank you for getting up at the crack of
Oh, okay.
dawn.
I thought you were gonna be like, Javier, now I'm gonna tell you something serious. I'm like, oh, okay.
No, nothing serious. I'm beyond that point. I don't get serious.
Oh, okay. I was like,
I like.
I will say one thing I've learned about Smallhorn is you don't know when she's playing or kidding, or I'm like, I read her messages. I'm like, was she being serious there? Was she being mean, or I've gotten to know you now. You're just very boom, boom.
Yeah, so sarcastic,
Yeah.
so sarcastic. So I mean, sometimes I'm being honest, but it's not. I'm not coming from a bad or mean place.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
like
totally get it.
I don't want to meet. Very rarely do I get like super snarky. Hey, Bill
No.
Olson, how's it going, Mr.
Oh,
Bill?
there you go.
Bill Olson, are you
Are we
looking? No sound again, Malcolm. Where is your sound?
All right, we're just gonna do this on our own then.
Yeah, let's just take over.
Are you just muted? What happened?
I think it has to do with his microphone connects to
There you go.
another.
I broke the dang cable on my microphone on one of our live streams. I dropped my cable and the damn microphone broke. So I think I need a new cable.
There you go.
But all right, what do you guys want to talk about today?
I think Javier has something he would like to express. Javier, didn't you want to talk about something in particular?
Did we lose him now?
No, I think he's connecting his.
Okay, there you go. I couldn't hear anything you said.
Okay, so you had said that you wanted to talk about something specifically today that you wanted to touch on.
Oh yeah, well, first and foremost, thank you guys again for allowing me in the group. I think it's been a really great learning experience for myself, and of course, it's really great for me to get all these realtors to call me. I'm just like, hey, you guys need to go to this group, and it's been great to meet different creators on this platform where you guys are doing more niche content, which is great. I'm seeing people even have more transactions than I do just by doing specifically a niche contract. So it's been really great getting a different sense of what realtors are trying to do out there and all that good stuff. But one thing I want to just kind of chat today. Listen, I mean, I'm not inflating myself. This is what it is. There's a lot of realtors that look at my content for a long time. They're like, hey, I want to do what he does. And I was approached by another agent, maybe a month ago. And they're like, hey, have you heard about this Christina Smallhorn? And I said, yeah, I think I heard about her. And I clicked her channel. And then, of course, everyone knows what happened then. And I got in the Facebook group and everything. But what you guys haven't seen is behind the scenes. I've asked Smallhorn for a lot of advice. I've asked her, hey, who are you? What the coach is, what they're telling you, and all this good stuff. And for the last, I want to say 2 to 3 weeks, would hours watching Daryl Leaves, watching all these YouTube consultants, really getting into what makes YouTube videos successful. And I kept telling Smallhorn, I can't believe it. I've gotten this far just by, I don't know why, but now that I've actually started implementing the things that are out there for free, right? Mm-hmm. You don't have to, hire a master coach or anything like that. And I think pretty sure these two have been telling you for many years by now. By implementing these free things, I've gotten 200 to 300% growth in my channel. Just literally this past 2 weeks. I showed these two the charts. Literally, it's boom, and the revenue 3 times. Everything is going to increase 3 times, and it's just simply because I started using the strategies that are available out there for free. So I feel like everyone out there, it doesn't matter what part of your career you're in and YouTube career you're in. I think we try to be special. We try to do things differently, like I have been trying to do for a long time, but my growth was like this. It was steadily, but it was just very flat. Mm-hmm. So I want to thank both of you guys, and I think that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Bye, everybody. Yeah, I mean,
that was sarcasm. I can't tell when you're sarcastic, but yeah.
See, I think it's great that like you've got that fundamental down. You've got all the hard part, which is putting
Right.
out content and being consistent and building that community. And now you can do all these little tweaks and little tricks to really optimize your content. Where a lot of other people, they start off with like these little tweaks and little tricks, but they're not putting in the work and putting in the
Right.
time and putting in the hours. So
Yeah.
they don't really, they're just kind of hitting a wall. And it really needs to be a combination of both those things, working hard and working smarter.
Yeah, I think the smarter thing is key, because I think if I had been doing things the way I'm doing the last few weeks for probably the last year, I probably wouldn't have had, like, I don't know where I would have been. I just cringe a little bit thinking about it. So, yeah, I feel like it's definitely worth, like, once again, yeah, there's some people out there with smaller view count, but I think the habits and what they teach is pretty consistent regarding what growth you're in. Right now, 200% growth for me might look 200% growth for someone who has maybe 1,000 subscribers, but still 200% is 200%.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And what I always tell people is there's really two different business models out there. One business model is making a YouTube channel for your small local community about your city. And we have several people in this group that have small channels of 2,000 subscribers, and they're bringing in over $100,000 in commission every year from that. And then the other model is what us three are going after right now, which is a big, larger audience. And I only just switched over to that model earlier this year. So only like the last 12 months or so, I've been trying to go after that bigger audience. And like you said last time, it's kind of the shotgun approach. You just kind of blast it, and some percentage, 1% of those people will just by chance happen to be in your market.
The spaghetti against the wall.
Yeah, that's what one thing Smallhorn called me out on, and I think I almost cried when she told me that. She was like, you're just throwing spaghetti to the wall and you're seeing what sticks. And it happened to be a lot of spaghetti, and it happened to be a pretty big wall, and it still, provided me a lot of leads. But to grow and become big on YouTube, I think you got to be shotgun. But then once you figure out your audience, you got to just snipe in on that. And I don't know if you would agree with that, Smallhorn, or not.
I would, if you look at like who I even consider way bigger than us is like Meet Kevin and Graham. Yeah, they you know exactly what you're gonna get from them. They're either gonna talk about flipping a house or how they're gonna generate you money, and this is the ways they're gonna do it. And they're always talking about those two things over and over and over again, and how they, and in pretty great detail. Sometimes some of their videos are like 18, 19 minutes long. I'm like, who could watch a video for that long? But they have a system down. And I guarantee you, they're not editing any of that nonsense. There's no way. No way.
Graham Stephan says he edits all his own videos.
Yeah, I think he does his own.
And he says he uses the Apple software, the really basic one.
Final Cut Pro? Oh, iMovie? No way. He doesn't. That's just him trying to seem relatable. No way.
No, I don't buy it.
If you watch his videos, they're super, super basic. Like maybe they'll have a graphic come in and go out. Like that's it. There's no transitions. True. It's all jump cuts and like an image goes out.
Right, but Meet Kevin has a little bit more going on, and and the amount of, there's just, to me, I don't know how he could have a regular job and not and do YouTube as much as he does. I don't even know how that's even that's what I'm saying. Like, he's probably making, because it's an education channel, he's making some serious bank that he doesn't even have to flip a house ever again. He can just sit there and talk about it, I'm sure Graham's the same way. So you can definitely, if you look at your channel as a business, and you could turn it into a business that makes you a lot more money for a lot less work than trying to generate leads on YouTube.
Gerald Leaf said that one video I was watching this morning. He was talking about this guy called Legal Eagle that he was making lawyer videos, and then there's like, you can still sell courses and you can still get leads, but if you do it on a higher level and get more views, you're still doing it. You're not like, people limit ourselves, because I'm going to sell courses or because I'm trying to get leads, that means I have to get little views or have to be more niche. That's not necessarily true. If you follow the leads, you follow where that is, you're still going to be able to do that just at a higher level. And I was just like, holy crap, that's true. Like, but the thing is, maybe we can have a brainstorm about it. Like, clearly in the Legal Eagles, if you guys haven't seen that video, I think it's public. I think we can link it maybe somewhere. They figured out though, or Daryl figured out that, well, it's not that people that are in lawyer school or whatever, it's a law school that follow you. It's people that want to be lawyers. So then when they started making videos like lawyer reacts to this, that, or the other, it blew up. So for the real estate, we're making videos about real estate, first time home buyers. That's pretty general. At what point do you figure out like, oh wait, there's this specific audience that's like, yeah, obviously Smallhorn figured it out with the manufactured and I'm sorry, I can't think of the other home, the
modular manufactured
thank
in
you.
tiny homes.
You figured that out, and then you just like went after that, or you did it in a really intelligent way. For everybody else, once you fit, how do you identify what that is, and what would you recommend they do once they do?
I always tell people you have to do a pattern of content for 90 days. And then you have to take that pattern, those patterns of content, and compare them against each other and see which one is doing better. Because YouTube kind of lets you know, like if you've been doing, each week, if you've been doing the same types of videos and you follow that along, you can see, okay, well, the beginning of the month I did videos about buying a house. Those didn't do so well. But then I talked about, FHA loans. But boy, oh boy, whenever I talked about that, that seems like it got the most audience retention and the most, views. Then you got to think about, okay, how do I make more content centered around FHA loans or whatever it is? So then you realize you need to talk about FHA loans, RD loans, no money down loans, that you start building content around things that because you've been looking at the numbers that YouTube wants from you. And then
so if it's week 2 and they figured out FHA loans is the videos they get them, is it then week 3 is the FHA loan, or I remember you also saying that you got to let it season or breathe?
Yeah, according to if you watch the Daryl Eves 30-day challenge, he said no sooner than 21 days later. So he'll say no sooner than 21 days later. So if you had a video that took off, let's just say on FHA loans, you don't make another video about that for another 21 days
about specifically FHA. What if it's like another loan the next week? Is that possible, or it would just avoid loans for a month?
I would avoid loans for a month.
Yeah,
if you're only doing one video a week.
There.
Yeah.
So you're going to get that boost and then you're going to go down. It's okay to go down though.
Right.
Because right now I'm chasing a high and I feel like I'm going up and I'm like, I don't want it to go down. I don't know if I should keep going. So I think I have to let it breathe for a bit.
Right. That's what I do. What I do is I go up and then I go down, then I go up and I go down. But every time I go back up, it even gets higher. Yeah. So I'm letting that, it's building a new audience. So I let it go all the way down. Sometimes it gets kind of scary down. But then once I do it again, it skyrockets so high. It it's like, wow. And where my baseline used to be in October, I was like, wow, look at that spike. It looks like barely like a pimple.
Oh, it looks like a little, what did you call it? A little pimple?
A little pimple. I mean, it's barely anything because now the spikes are about this high. Those spikes will continue to go up as long as you keep feeding the machine to feed the machine what they want every, no sooner than 21 days.
Javier, so who do you think your target audience is? How would you describe them? Like, what's your audience's avatar, I guess?
Emmett says Javier pops up in a lot of mortgage related terms. You know what, Emmett? That happened because I was being for the last year and a half, I really liked that I was selling a lot of houses. And I was like, okay, I don't have to grow on YouTube. I just can keep selling houses. So I became very basic with that stuff, if that makes sense. Like, FHA loans, down payment assistance loans. And that's why I think I'm really relevant with the mortgage stuff. However, once again, it didn't grow my channel. So I have to say this last few weeks, I'm a salty guy. I talk a lot of crap. I don't like realtors, except the ones here. I love them. I'm just and I just leaned into that. I was like, you know what? I'm calling out a lot of BS I'm seeing on the market right now. There's realtors saying things are fine. And it's not black or white. You shouldn't be saying things are perfect. You shouldn't be saying things are terrible, but you need to be realistic and honest with people. And this last month, and I could be curious for you, what do you say, Smallhorn, is I think I'm really identifying the market being just people that are seeking guidance, that want honesty. Now, I don't know what group that specific is yet. I haven't really figured it out. I'm talking about new construction and what new buildings are trying to pull with people, like the tactics they're using. I'm talking about you shouldn't be buying unless you're doing this. I'm talking, and I threw in what do you need to buy, or how much down you need, just to throw it in there. So I haven't really figured out exactly like Smallhorn has this is the thing that works. I'm kind of leaning into I'm going to just be honest with people and tell them it's really scary right now, but assure them that if you're still thinking of buying, you'll be okay. But if you're not, then that's okay too.
Right.
I kind of all that to say is I really still haven't figured out that main one. I had a video 3 weeks ago get like, I think it's like 140,000 views, which is great. But at this point, I'm just like, okay, what's going to be that topic that's going to get me to 500 or to even 1 million? Like, and I haven't quite tuned it.
What was that one that got you 100,000 views?
You shouldn't be buying a house unless, that's what the title is.
It's a great title too.
Yes,
That's
and then
really
once again, using the tactics of Daryl Eves and all these other people, I'm like, okay, my face needs to be big. I need to have some kind of emotion on my face. Looking at the thumbnail now, I wish I had made my face a little bigger.
You can change it.
Oh yeah. No, it's 143,000. I'm gonna leave it. No kidding.
Well, what is your CTR though?
That's true.
Always improve.
You know what? Actually, I don't think I would have, because I have the finger point, and I think that's what's telling people to click on it. But yeah, maybe I might actually make it bigger here. That's a good point. I don't know. I mean, people are really resonating with that. People are really liking there's just me being raw and honest with them, but I don't know what audience that is.
That's my favorite type of video, honestly. One of my favorite videos I ever did was very early on, and it was the real reason for open house, or the truth about open house.
Yeah.
I love that. That was my favorite, because it was like, I don't even care if realtors hate me when I say this, because they're our biggest waste of time ever. And people still argue with me to death. And I'm like, I've been doing this. Look, I did this in Florida. I did this in Louisiana. And they were always, the only time that it was ever good is when, basically you could throw a handwritten sign outside that said, "This house is for sale," and people were like clamoring to get in. That was like 2006.
Yeah.
And then everything fell apart in 2007. But that's the only time that I ever, and only one other time after that did I ever sell a house from open house.
Wow.
It was just,
I
stupid.
don't ever do them. They're dumb.
What's one of the reasons I really want to make YouTube videos? I was like, I'm not going to do an open house ever again. Like, I hate all my business on open houses like 4 years ago, and I was like, I want to be able to spend my weekend showing houses or spending time with my family.
Yep.
Lizzie Hofer, who's my lender, mentioned to me that, Dave Ramsey, look at this guy. He clearly has a huge following. Clearly makes a lot of money. And you might not necessarily agree with him or not agree with him, but the fact is he has an opinion. And when you stand on a platform, it's scary because you're bringing yourself up to people saying you're wrong. And I have sometimes thin skin, and sometimes it hurts. But people respect you more when you're on, like, I don't know if you guys are fans of Hamilton. Yes. They don't like an Aaron Burr. They like Hamilton that even though he's wrong or right, he's going to tell you. I've listened to that probably 7,800 times by now.
When you said that, I immediately thought, what if you want to stand for something, you'll stand for something.
Exactly.
It was running through my head, and when you said that, I was like, obviously.
So I think
the Hamilton train.
so Malcolm, I think I don't know what it is yet. I'm still figuring it out, but I know that I've started taking a stance. And a lot of realtors are like, I don't know if they're super happy with it. And that's why I think my brokerage is actually going to let me go soon. But that's fine. I'll go to another one. And I think people deserve honesty. And I think I've been the guy that's been telling people to buy the last 2 years. So now that I'm like, guys, maybe if you're not super solid, and maybe just wait, even though that might hurt other people's realtors' business. I believe every realtor should be telling people that anyway. So
right.
I think you should always have an opinion on how you feel the market is. It isn't what your broker thinks the market is. It's how you've lived this. You know exactly how houses run. You've been doing this for a hot minute, and you understand it. Like some of it is a feeling of a market. I will flat out admit when I'm wrong. And I was wrong when this pandemic started, and I've said it a million times, but I don't care. Like, look, we're human, we make mistakes. But what
were you wrong about?
I really thought the houses were going to drop in price. I really didn't think that it would have gone as hot as it did, and it got hot. I mean, like, really, the worst house in the worst house ever. And I told people to hold off on buying houses because I thought that the price was going to drop. But I still think that. I mean, it didn't happen right away, but I still think that. I still feel like it's not sustainable. It's not going to hold.
It's artificial. All artificial right now.
Right. Everybody's buying on emotion.
On steroids.
Anytime that interest rates go down, home prices usually go up because your monthly mortgage payment's going to essentially be the same. Like if somebody would buy a $400,000 home today, their monthly mortgage payment's essentially the same if they bought the same house 12 months ago.
Right.
So just because the home value is going up, your mortgage payment's staying the same. So, but yeah, given your opinion, I mean, things like that and debating it, that definitely gets exposure and gets people excited to see that. But I think we're all still trying to figure out who our target audiences is. Even Christina is, yeah. And I mean, I just shifted my target audience this last year, and I'm still trying to really narrow it in, figure out kind of what my buckets are. What's that?
Step one, Step one, make a video, upload it to YouTube.
Dude, it's so hard. I've got 5 under contract right now. I got 2 buyers that want to look at properties today.
I don't want to hear it.
It sucks. It's like I don't want to be doing this stuff,
5
but
under contract.
I can't like turn away that business. I mean, you have this problem too, right, Javier? You have more business than you can handle, and you have to make a decision. So you must turn away buyers and put that time towards YouTube instead, right?
I recently, last few weeks as well, hired somebody to literally check the MLS and text people every morning and evening. I'm like, I can't be doing that. Like, if I miss it, I feel terrible about myself. Like, I'm not doing my job. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to hire you to literally just send people every morning. They need to get a new list of houses, and the people feel like it's me sending them, and they feel like they're being worked. When someone requests a showing, there's actually a service where you can schedule a showing agent to go look at the house for like a fee. Wow. So I'm telling people now, like, hey, this market's crazy, and if I'm not able to show you a house, I don't want you to lose a house on my behalf. So I hire agents to literally open the door and smile and not say anything. And they're like, okay, Javier, yes, we just want to work with you. So I'm starting. I let you know how it goes. This is an experiment. So I've got like maybe 8 pre-qualifications right now. I just closed a bunch. So, and I don't, once again, this last year has been a year of growth, and I'm like, I don't want to be number one agent. I don't care if I'm the top anymore. I just want to make enough for my family. So I want to experiment this method and see if it works. Because of that, I'm now, as you guys have seen, I'm doing 2-3 live streams a week. I'm focusing on 2. I'm Small Heart. I'm gonna follow your advice and do 90 days, and I'll let you guys know how it goes. I'm doing a video a week, and I'm going to experiment with a reaction video a week, meaning I react to the comments of people on that video. The one I did last time really worked well. It doesn't look like a reaction video if you look at the thumbnail. It's the one that says the market is worse than I thought. It has 39,000 views 6 days ago. But it's just me reacting to people's comments. And people were on there, they had longer watch time, and people were commenting that they really enjoy that kind of content. So I'm going to be doing a video a week. I'm going to try to going to let it breathe a little more. I don't think I'll make a video about the market for about 2-3 weeks. And then on the 2-3 days later, make a reaction video to those comments. So people feel like the same people that watched that video are not going to watch that. So I think Daryl said it's all about not necessarily your watch time, but like the amount of views, the amount of videos that one buyer watch, or that, I don't know, something like that. I'm still learning.
Right, session time.
How long session time, yeah. Videos, yeah.
So I'm going to experiment that for about a few months, or a month or two. I'm just going to say video on, let's say Monday, a live the next day, let it breathe a day, a reaction video to that video that day, and then a live the next day, and then rest of the weekend. And let's see how that works.
Okay. Well,
and you've got time for all that, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I don't. I make the time.
Yeah. No. I make excuses, I guess.
I make excuses. I'm the worst. I do. I make excuses. I have the thing is I have this kid that like they have the hybrid model in our school. I feel like I was very leery about my kids going to school, but now I have to drive her all the time. I'm like, I cannot wait for this kid to drive. Everybody's like, my baby's growing up. She can't. I don't want her to drive. I'm like, when can I give this kid a license? Because I'm over it. I was so thankful when my oldest one got a driver's license. Now I need the younger one to get a driver's license. I hate driving.
But yeah, so another point about the reacting to people's comments. One good thing about that is that you're training your audience to leave comments. That's going to encourage more people to leave comments at the home.
That's an experiment for sure. Once again, I think Christina's a perfect model of this. If you really want to blow up, you got to have a video go really big. And I'm like, I don't know what video that's going to be for me. So I'm consistently doing over 10, 15K views per video. So that's great. But I still trying to blow one up.
You're doing good though. It's right there.
In order for doing that, then you have to go after that browse and suggested video traffic.
Yeah, my browse is up to 80-something%. I looked at my analytics this morning.
That one that you did that took off, don't buy a home now unless, like that's probably almost all browse.
Let me check it right now.
Just because like that's the type of thing that if somebody just saw that on their homepage, that's such a clickable title and such a clickable topic and concept that people would want to click on that, even though they're not actually searching.
Oh, it's not the number one most performed video. It bumped down to number 3 in the last day. And now the reaction video to that video is bumped up to number 1, and then new construction or taking advantage of first-time home buyers is number 2. So YouTube is now starting to pull the gas on that one, which is fun. It's been like a week or two. Yeah, number 1 traffic source, 85% browse, 6% suggested, 2% YouTube search, which is crazy because everyone thinks key terms. I need to get the right key terms. I actually was not coaching, but my friend Lizzie, her channel's been stagnant, and I help my friend. So I looked at her analytics and I said, your problem is you're emailing your database. You're ruining the algorithm because you're doing that. And the second thing is all her most watched or her most successful videos were ones that are really successful in the key terms. And I've learned that that's actually not great because you're not going to grow organically that way. You're depending on people searching that video. And then her suggested and her browser were really low, meaning that if YouTube does put you out there, no one clicks on it. So I try to no more emailing people. And I told her, you have to change up your thumbnails and your content a bit. That way people actually want to click your video instead of just searching for it and happen to find it.
Okay, so search is really good. I think if when you're doing like a specific area, for instance, if you're just wanting to do North Carolina, so you're doing those search terms, makes perfect sense. But if you want a channel to get big, that's not going to work. Because when like Daryl Eves looked at my channel, he said, you are doing everything perfectly for a YouTube search channel. I'm like, thank you. He's like, you're never going to get anywhere.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, no, I mean, you're doing great and everything, but what do you want? I mean, like if this is what you want, you got everything you wanted. And I'm like, but I want more. And he was like, okay, well, let's do this. Let's show you how you can get more.
Awesome. How many views do we have right now, Malcolm?
We have 12 people watching right now. I can see it.
Okay. So feel free to leave comments, guys, please.
Yeah, not many comments right now.
Yeah, everybody's just saying hello.
I can handle tons of comments. Don't worry.
You got Emmett and Bill here commenting.
Yeah, they're one's on YouTube. Are they both all on YouTube? Coming from YouTube?
You're going live on YouTube right now?
Yeah, so StreamYard, I can stream to YouTube and Facebook at the same time.
I have to say, my lives, like I used to do live on Facebook, which really was terrible because people would pop in and pop out. But you do a live on YouTube, people will tune in before you even get there. They hang out until you push live. Then when you're live, they stay all the way to the end. And when you end it, they're still talking in that chat. They are very loyal people. And Javier broke my... like I had this thing, like I used to do live, I quit doing live. He's like, you need to go live. I'm like, you know what, you're right.
You're like, I just met you, bro. Calm down.
I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go live. I did it. I broke that wall I had because I was I don't know what I was terrified
Did you do one on your channel recently, Christina?
Yeah.
She did.
Yeah, my last video was a live stream. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's one of those things that make me happy right now because I started that as an experiment. Like, I don't know. And of course I was one of those people, which I think I learned that's not true, but I hope it's the case where if I make a live, I'm going to be taking viewers from my other videos. That's what I was thinking. Like, it's going to downplay the other videos. And I'm like, oh no. But this week I picked up a listing and I talked to a buyer, and this happens all the time where I talk to a buyer and they were working with another agent. They got under contract already. I'm like, why didn't I call him? But I learned to live with it. And they both, like, there's like ongoing jokes in my lives. There's like, certain themes that come up, like my dog Toby. And then if they actually become members or subscriber, like Twitch subscribers, they become part of the Toby gang. And they both mentioned to me like, oh, how's Toby? Oh, hey, this, that, or the other. So I'm like, oh gosh. And then I'm starting to develop what I would consider a more super fans. And basically what I'm doing, for those that don't know, is, I'm a gamer. I play a lot of games, but Twitch is a big community for gamer streams, like people, and they really go all out. There's like, notifications that pop up, and they have like, like Dr. Disrespect. If you guys haven't heard him, even if you don't like games, you should watch him. He's a master marketer. He has an audience for, he calls his audience like Slick Daddy Club or something like that. And then if you become a member, you're part of the Champions Club. And, he says our firm handshakes and all these terms that are like, what's the point? But there's people out there that watch our streams, and they watch the whole entire freaking thing. And that has really grown my audience to the point where like people are calling me and they're like making jokes about it. I'm like, holy crap. Like, it's really doing something special. And I think I'm making, it's probably on average 50 to $100 a stream in donations. And I'm like, I'm not doing it for the donations, but people are just throwing money at me. And I'm like, all right, cool.
I know.
I'll take it.
Wow.
That's how I always did it with my trivia show. And then they made a whole little thing that they were part of the Roo Crew, and I used to give away these
Perfect. That's exactly it. Yeah.
These humongous cups, and they were like, they made jokes about it, and they would tag me on Instagram with the cup, and the one guy was siphoning out gas into the cup, and another one like photoshopping himself like taking a bath in it. You know, it was like a fun thing. But I had to give up on the trivia show. Like
now I think I went all in, and I'll let you guys know in about 2 months if that was worth it. I'm going two or three times live, but I really implore both of you to go live at least once a week.
I'm doing it once a week,
and then that way you can start getting experimenting, and you start doing what like you're explaining. You start getting super fans, and people look at live videos and they're like, "Oh, I only have 100 people watching. That's so lame. I'm used to 1,000 people." But if you go on Twitch, someone that has 50 viewers is big. Like, holy crap, you have a following. If you have over 100 viewers, you're like, oh gosh, this guy's like, it's equivalent to like 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. If you have 1,000 viewers plus, then you're like in the million subscriber plus is YouTube. So it's a huge deal to get at least 5 or 10 people there. It's a big problem. So don't look at those numbers like, oh, this is lame. Those 5 people.
47 people were on my live stream. I'm like, that's a lot. And I don't see very many like, you know, real estate agents that do live streams. They get 47 people sitting there watching their live streams. Just saying. So I think I don't know. I think that when you have those loyal people, because they do watch from the beginning all the way to the end, I think that's a great thing.
And people watch them after they're done, which is so insane to me. So what I've done
all the way to the end.
Yeah, they'll comment, and they'll like comment on the video once it's posted, and have to be like, hey, it's not live anymore, guys. Sorry, you know, make sure not to be commenting. I actually shouldn't do that anymore. There's people that say that they watch it after the fact, so I'll monetize it on after the fact. However, what I do is I do unlist it or make it into members only after I post the next one, because I don't want my channel to be all live videos. So I only leave my latest live active. That way there's also a sense of like urgency when people see that I'm live, like this is their chance to see it, or unless they become members and they become archive, which membership's like $2 a month. I got like maybe 10 or 20 people that are doing it. Not to do it for money. It's just creating more of that, you know.
Get close to me. Yeah.
Niven does that as well. He unlists his live streams after a certain period of time, and he says they just don't have very much replay value.
Yeah, I don't want, if people look at my history, I don't want like live. Like there's literally 3 times a week, so it'll just say live. So I leave the last one live until the next one, then I put it members only, and then I put the new one up.
Emmett had a question.
Sorry.
So we got a question from Emmett. Can you expand on the can't grow if all search topic? Supposedly you're supposed to target a keyword and use TubeBuddy, etc. to maximize it, right?
Oof. Smallhorn, you go first. Or you guys do it for Malcolm. I don't know you guys.
Yeah, so I'd say like TubeBuddy, like I personally don't use TubeBuddy. I've got plenty of videos ranking in for powerful search terms, and I really don't rely on TubeBuddy. Like if you want to rank for a search term, you can, you know, put it in your description, put it in your tags. If you can use it in your title, great. But it's more important that you have a clickable title. And it's more important that people click on your videos and watch it for a long time. That's far more important than optimizing it for a search term, in my opinion.
I used to spend ridiculous amounts of time trying to find the magical keywords that were going to make my video blow up, and then I'd get these scores prior to publishing. I'm like, this is it. I have worked hours getting the perfectly optimized SEO in my description. This title is going to make the magic algorithm sprinkle its love on me, and I am going to have a video go viral. And I push publish, and that thing would get barely 100 views. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Okay, here's the deal. The algorithm is this. It's not magical key terms. It's to get people to watch your videos. Make a video that is so interesting that people that have never seen your channel before want to watch it, period. So, I mean, like, mind blown, right? And then you make a title that would be like, you think about a newspaper article, that something sensational, something that makes you stop at the stand when you're checking out groceries, that makes you pick it up and read it. That is your click. Make sure that picture and that title match up perfectly, and you're going to have more growth than you would trying to find the secret sauce of magical keywords that are threaded together to make the algorithm happy. That's a bunch of nonsense. I
So
did it
true.
for years. I did it because I was told by these supposed gurus that have no freaking clue on what they're talking about. They're
Say their
still
name.
preaching. No, I'm not saying their names. They still
Owen
preach this
Video.
stuff. They still preach it. They still to this day preach it. And yes, that was true years ago, but it's not how it works now. The algorithm is people. It's not a computer. The algorithm only follows what people watch. They still have to depend on a person to click on it. The computer doesn't care. Doesn't care about your feelings, doesn't care about your SEOs. It cares about who's going to watch it and is going to watch it even longer and more because they want to serve it to ads to more people. That's it. It's a business. It's a business to them. So make videos that people want to watch, period.
Yeah. My understanding is YouTube
I get off my soapbox now.
YouTube
No, that's good. Get
far
on
more
there.
emphasis on like the actual transcript of your video and what you actually say in that video than your description than your tags. So you could do, Maryland real estate agent buying a home in Maryland, all these tags, but YouTube can see that your video is not really about that. And they're also analyzing your entire video frame by frame and analyzing what their image recognition software sees in your video. They put more emphasis on that than what your tags are as well. So yeah, I mean, optimizing for SEO is really just making good videos that are optimized for the user. What's worse is when people title their videos something like Maryland real estate agent buying a home in Maryland, and that's the title of the video. Like, who the heck would want to click on that?
And then the thumbnail's Maryland agent.
Right.
Yeah.
Maryland.
Yeah, like they think that because they keep stuffing, and YouTube has flat out said, stop stuffing your thumbnail, your descriptions.
Yep, I'm
and,
guilty of that.
Your descriptions and
your
your
thumbnail.
titles.
Yeah, your
Right.
thumbnail.
Yeah, everything. They like quit keyword stuffing it. We will suppress that content because we know you're trying to to gain the systems. Just stop.
Yep.
And they
Probably
flat
get
out
rid
said,
of tags at some point as well in the future.
and if you look at some of the really big YouTubers, they don't even do tags. And
Yeah.
really, honestly, the
Or
tags,
descriptions.
the tags, it's really for you to understand where your video is going to. Like how did that rank for that specific search term? It's not because you made the perfect SEO description to match that tag. It's really for your benefit to know where you're ranking on YouTube. It's not just because you put that in there isn't going to make your video go viral. I mean, honest to God, I thought it was some secret algorithm recipe that I was going to crack, and I would spend a whole day trying to make this perfectly matched up thing. And when Daryl said, stop doing that, you're wasting your time, I was like, I felt like I got my life back, honestly, because I really wanted
Hold on,
my videos
I do want to say
well.
something about this, Malcolm. So my number, well, hopefully not very soon, but the number one video that's basically pushed my channel further initially with real estate agents and getting leads and whatnot is the video that I made. How much does it actually cost to buy a home? I made it 2-3 years ago. I think it has like 300K views or whatever. And that's a video that has basically grown my channel for the first, I want to say from 0 to 1,000 subscribers. And you would think that it was the key terms that made it founded and all that. I'm actually looking it up right now. 81% is suggested videos, which I've never, that's really rare. So basically that tells you that the reason my channel grew initially is because there was already other people that were successful with this similar type of video. And because my thumbnail was clickable and I made the right title, when I popped up next to their video, or when they were watching someone else that did the work already and somebody was watching their video and my face popped up there, they clicked me. So that's the only reason why my initial video grew. So I grew not because of my keywords that I used, not because I found the right recipe, is because I got lucky because I happened to use a great thumbnail and a great title, and I mooched off other people that already had topics on this video, but because I did everything right, people clicked it. That's the only reason I grew, not because of the keywords. That's like actually the keywords on that video is total life, like 3.8%. So that's how it blew up.
Thank you for attending Christina's TED Talk.
Yeah,
So
all
I
right.
got on my soapbox.
Christina and the boys. That's what we're gonna call this. Christina and the little boys.
Yeah, I absolutely believe that, man. Like, if you want videos to get hundreds of thousands of views, and if you want a video to get 1 million views, I want a video to get 1 million views. My best so far is like 930,000. I came
We're all
so
trying
close.
to catch up to small horn.
Yeah, mine's 1.6 million.
Oh,
Okay, you don't have to brag.
But it's but it's so much fun bragging.
You know what's so great about that video, Smallhorn, is I actually watched it, and it's so simple. And I don't mean that as insult. People always go crazy with like what I need to do and all this stuff. It's you pop up and you're literally talking about something you're seeing on your computer. As a matter of fact, because of that, and I started seeing how, even I'm a big fan of PewDiePie, which if you guys haven't seen his most recent content, literally he's sitting down, he's reacting to something. That's all he's freaking doing. You go on OBS, you hit record. This has been such a godsend for me because now I don't have to hit record on the camera, record on my audio equipment, and then sync them later and have 4K video. These guys, including Christina's biggest video, they probably use OBS or something. Is that what you used or no?
No.
Did you just sync them later?
Yeah, I had actually that was a Zoom. It was
there you go. So
I had my camera up and I was recording this.
Look at that. Like I'm going to actually start doing that where I'm just going to be here. I'm going to OBS my camera and my mic, and I'm just going to hit record. I'm not going to sync audio and do all that crazy stuff because it doesn't have to be so complicated. It doesn't have to be super nice.
It's what you're saying. It's what you're saying. And Malcolm and I had this thing. Is it quality over quantity, or is it quantity over quality?
Or somewhere in between. And
that's where
quality as in the quality of the camera or the quality of the content?
Content. Well, you have content quality and then you have production quality. I mean, in both of them, you have to have some minimum like threshold for both of those. But I mean, the content is definitely king where it needs to be. And I think that, personally, I think I overanalyze things too much. And I always spend like a week writing these scripts and I want to have like references and all these numbers. And I spend all this time editing. And like, that's okay. But I published 2 videos in the last 90 days. And I think I need to find on my real estate channel.
Malcolm
I think I need to find more of a balance and kind of move less in the production quality and just put up simpler videos that are still have good content quality, but just a little bit lower production quality, or at least have a series on my channel of lower production quality that I can put out more. So I think
like don't even call it low production. Just make them your new videos. I'm going to experiment the next month, and I'm just going to do simple videos. Now, of course, I have the nicer camera, nicer mic, so it's not really simple, but it's not going to be like a nice studio not behind me. Like I usually do the studio set and all of that. I'm just going to be whatever. I'm lazy. I'm just going to record, and I'm just going to see it. Because I mean, looking at Smallhorn's video, like she didn't go to Giant Studio. She doesn't have nothing like that. It's just great content.
Which one are you talking about? Her boxable?
Oh no, let's not bring it up because she'll love to talk about it. The one that has 1.6 million views.
Is that the
Amazon,
Amazon
one?
Yeah, that
Amazon.
You're just literally reacting the way you're seeing on your screen.
And the things that made me laugh, because that's the same thing. I honestly was thinking how other people think when they're looking at these things. Because I mean, like some of the reviews are so stupid. So I wanted to throw that in there. I'm like, oh my goodness, look at this review. Like, why do they even say this stuff? And people laugh, because they honestly think that. People love people that feel the same way they do. Like they feel like they're getting in their head. So you do get people that are like, what does this lady think she is to review this stuff? I mean, I get some nasty comments. There's no doubt about it. But then you get the other people that are like, I was thinking the same thing, or, like this girl's hysterical, like, because they think that, but they don't express it. So when they hear somebody else express it, they feel it feels more relatable.
For like 8 solid months, I got no negative comments, and that's because my channel is stagnant. As soon as I start getting negative comments, it's always correlated with how much you grow. Sorry, go ahead.
You're going to get negative comments always. So we got a question here from Brandon. You said, maybe covered this. Do you promote your live videos in advance or just go for it and hope people show up? For someone with few followers and just starting out in live video, is starting out in live video a good way to accelerate a following?
Yeah.
Look up analytics. Look up the analytics. I don't promote it, and people will get mad at me because I don't promote it. They're like, "Why don't you let us know when there's a schedule?" I'm in real estate. I can't stick to a schedule. If there's a client that wants to see houses, I'm going to cancel my live, right? So I just go. However, I do understand I have some privilege there because I have a bigger audience. So I might suggest using secondary sources to promote your live, not your Facebook and Instagram. Literally start growing. I created a Discord and I created a Twitter just for people that want like upgrades and updates to live stuff. That I let those people know. And there's only like 50 followers on my Twitter. There's only like 10 people in my Discord, but those 60 people probably make up or at least half of them make up my initial viewings. I don't go on my Instagram and get people that are just going to click it and leave, because that's going to kill my algorithm. I don't do it on Facebook. So I just go live, and then I'm now starting to train people. Hey, the day after the video, I'm going to go live. So I think my last video, I went up to 256 total, in one sitting. And then after I was done, I think it was a total of 900 views. So I'm starting to get people more in like, okay, this guy's going to go live the day after. This guy's going to go live the day after. So, well, I don't know what you would suggest for people that were smaller, Christina.
I'd say specific day. Like if you're small and you're not like super busy, pick one day that they know that every afternoon on a Sunday they're going to get some kind of live stream from you. And I schedule it the day before. So I make a thumbnail, I like, do the title and everything else. Then I put it in my community page that morning and say, hey, I'm going live today. We're going to be looking at this. And then, it doesn't get a lot of likes or thumbs up on my community page, but sure enough, those are the same people that show up to the live stream. So normally when I used to do my trivia show, I only got like maybe 20, 30 people. But that particular live show I just did got me 47 people that watched all the way to the end. And then, like you said, Javier, I was shocked that people watched all the way
after. Yeah, they're leaving comments. Yep, it's crazy.
Leaving comments on that thing, and I'm like blown away. And people are like, "Oh, you should do this." And I know they're watching all the way to the end because they're discussing things that I talked about at the end of that live stream. So they're watching it all the way through. I'm blown away. They never.
I'm curious to see your analytics on that video. What's your watch time from subscribers? Is it like YouTube actually pushing it to non-subscribers? For me, it's 58.7 subscribe and 41% not subscribe. So YouTube is actually now deciding to put it in front of people's homepages that aren't people that follow me. 75% browse features for my live video. That's so I don't need. Wow. And then my channel page is 7% and my suggested 7%. So, and 5% notifications. So notifications make up the least amount of my people that show up. And one of the things that scared me the most first when I started live streaming back in the day was like, well, there's no one here. What am I going to talk about? Prepare things in advance. Talk to people as if they are there. Like, literally have topics you're going to talk about. That way you don't have too much dead space. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. Bullet point it.
Great point. Great question.
My traffic sources for that video are browse features, then notifications.
So browse. So what's your browse percentage?
55.3%.
Okay,
and so your notification is 24.4%.
There you go. So you got a lot of subs going. What's your subscribe and not subscribe under your audience?
I don't. I'm doing it for my phone.
Oh, okay, maybe it's not there.
Yeah, that's awesome that YouTube's pushing out your live streams.
I just actually realized that myself here. Like, that's pretty cool. I think it's so great I would love to see us just kind of dissect numbers like this, like we're doing. That's really helpful for people to learn from that.
Because I had no freaking clue. With us three, where we could sit there. And
dude, let's just charge like 500 a pop and let's go.
Yeah, they'll learn a lot. Okay, he said, okay, now I need. Emmett Dempsey said, okay, now I need to know more because all they talk about is TubeBuddy and Morning Fame and Gorilla.
Who's they?
I was gonna say, who are they? That's one of those things that I always say.
Oh, we know who they are.
No, I want to hear from him. Who's they?
Well, I just don't understand what a guerrilla word targeting is. I mean, this is not warfare. We're just making videos that people want to watch. That's it. And here's the thing. Like, you don't want TubeBuddy is really good for that A/B testing tool with your thumbnails. I mean, it really does do great. I love that feature. That is a great feature.
And that's at $50 a month, I think, or $40 a month.
And I'm not saying that TubeBuddy isn't great for finding when you're first starting out to find those initial keywords to put in your titles, but don't depend on that to make the perfect magic sauce that's going to make your video blow up. That is not the recipe. The recipe is make a video that people want to watch. I know that sounds so basic, like, shut up, Christina. I make great videos. My videos are fantastic. Stand back, get out of your own skin, watch other people's videos that are in your niche or making videos that are similar to yours and say, is my video as good as this? Am I following the same kind of pacing that this person is doing? Are they talking faster? Are they talking slower? Do they add some graphics, or did they have absolutely no graphics at all? Don't try to reinvent the wheel. watch what other people are doing and do it better. Just do it better.
The main factor in that is personality. If you're just there talking knowledge and
Mm-hmm.
down payment assistance programs, no one's going to watch your video.
Mm-hmm.
You have to even stand up, get on a soapbox, get an opinion, not only talk about the down payment assistance, talk if people should do it or not do it. That's going to get you attention.
Right.
I love what you're saying. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, a lot of people are promoting TubeBuddy as somehow the secret sauce.
So social media gurus, huh?
Yeah, no, you don't need TubeBuddy. Like you can get it for free, and like you might as well. Well, the nice thing is that if you have tags, TubeBuddy will show you if you're ranking for any of those tags, which is kind of cool. Help you suggest some tags, but none of that stuff's really all that important anymore.
Follow coaches that have results. Don't follow these coaches only have 500 subs. Now there's like Daryl Lees doesn't have a lot of subs. However, he has created billions of views. So make sure you do your research on your social media stuff, people, guys.
He has like over 100 channels with gold play buttons.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So it's
yeah,
like,
he's got a lot.
I mean, dude, Mr. Beast. I actually, you were telling me, oh, Mr. Beast, like, oh, Mr. Beast, and I click this stuff, and I'm like, this guy knows what he's doing, and he's growing like holy shit. Like, not only is it like, oh, like you look at his videos, he starts off by catching like a hook, like Daryl says, and then you're like watching the whole time, and you're like, holy crap, it's just And sorry, there's another comment. Sorry about that.
Mr. Beast is saying that he spends an hour a day just coming up with ideas for videos. That's all. Just thinking of what would somebody click on, And one of his next videos is I bought an island and gave it away. Like that's a cool idea for a video, and that's all he does.
I clicked that. Like, what the hell you mean about an island? And I would totally click that too.
That's the kind of videos that get 24 million views.
Yes, 40 million subscribers. He's caught up to almost PewDiePie's like 100-something million, but. Yeah. Just in the last few years, just because of the way strategy, he's going to catch up to one of the biggest YouTubers all time.
Well, and here's the thing. Like, I actually did a video that if you followed the keyword research recipe would never have gotten watched. All I said was, I built a home in 48 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
That was the title.
Yeah.
And if I followed the keyword recipe that these gurus give you, that video would have died on the vine and no one ever would have watched it. You have to come up with something clever that people want to click on. Simple.
So a lot of people do talk about competitive search terms. Like Emmett is here asking, should he go after lower competition search terms and not go after those high competition search terms? I say I wouldn't even think about that.
Stop focusing on search terms, Emmett.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that at all, man.
Mm-hmm.
Juan has a good question. There you go. Okay, there you go.
Yeah. So do you guys recommend having your face in a thumbnail or not? So I've actually, I think it kind of depends. Sometimes it makes sense to have my face in there, but I've been moving away from that lately. And a lot of my top performing videos don't have my face in the thumbnail. That's something that I've looked at my analytics and I've tested myself. What do you guys think?
These are my top performing videos.
Let's see.
I was about to say, Christina's top performing videos don't have her face in it.
None of them have my face in it. Nobody gives two flying flips about my face. I have the most non-clickable face in the whole entire world. People care about the house. They don't care about my face. But I want to say this. Because of what my specific channel speaks about houses. That's what I talk about. I'm talking about houses. Nobody cares about my face because that's what I'm talking about. Now, if I do a reaction video, it makes sense. My face should be on the thumbnail. But, like, I don't have to have my face on there. Most of the time, if I put my face on there, it's like kind of emoji.
This guy.
Yeah, and see, his face works. People like his face. He has a clickable, likable face. I do not.
Well, clearly not as much. I don't have 1.6 million views. Actually, look at my newest video, Malcolm.
Yeah, let me
go to new. Look at. This is the first time, not my live one. That's the first time I made a thing without words.
I saw that.
And I was like nervous about it. But I don't need words. That's the thing is like I'm starting to, as you know, Christina called me out on this last time. I'm one of those suckers that put way too much words on the thumbnails.
Right.
I'm like, from what I've learned is this just has to create a cohesive story. So obviously my face looking pissed off is working right now. I don't know why, but that's what I'm just going to keep doing.
Let me see mine. I don't even know.
You salty.
I got to lean into what works.
So I do have my face in a lot of my videos. But not all of them.
Oh, look at that shark. Oof.
Yeah. This is one of my top ones.
Do you think your top one would do better if it said no, if you got rid of the no more mortgage?
I actually did A/B test that and it did not. Because one thing I don't like about this is that the timestamp kind of covers up the mortgage, but I've
Mhm.
A/B tested that, and it's still this
That was that
thumbnail
two-
did perform better.
Yeah, that was a TubeBuddy test. I remember
Yeah,
that.
I used TubeBuddy for that. Yeah, it's weird. Sometimes, what you think should work doesn't always work out when you actually test it.
I had that happen because I did that video. I did a video on the container. I did a video on tiny homes you can find on Amazon. So I was like, well, in a month from now, I'm going to do one on container homes. That video is still like, it's at 92,000. But I thought at that time, like I was like,
This will be your next million view.
oh yeah, this one's gonna like blow it up. Well, it didn't. It didn't do as good. So
That's what my question to my next question was to, like, have you ever had a video that you thought was going to do great but didn't? So that's the only one.
absolutely. Oh, no, there's been a few. There's been
I have
a
those
few.
all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Me and Malcolm did a tiny home one together, and I was like, oh, we'll piggyback off of each other, because that is a great way to build up a channel from another audience, to build a new audience. If you guys are talking about the same subject, you hand off your video to the next your friend, so you're sharing audiences, and that will gain the momentum. You get a couple, 3, 4 people doing that. It's a fantastic way to grow your channel. Me and Malcolm did that with a tiny home video. Both of ours went.
So in hindsight, what do you think went wrong with that one?
I know that what it was. It was well, first of all, I was always, prior to that, in a tiny house.
Yeah.
People liked to see the tiny house itself. So when I was just sitting in my office speaking about it, people were like, ugh, and they turned it off. They want to see the house, just like they want to see the house on the thumbnail.
Yeah, same thing with mine. I shot it here in my studio. Where most of Christina's videos, she's actually out there in a tiny home, and maybe just that little bit of credibility. It could be the exact same videos, but just that context, people just don't resonate with it. Yeah, it's funny. Like you, it's not just about following a formula and following a checklist. You could do everything right, and whatever reason, your video still just doesn't resonate with people. Do you know how to create groups in your Facebook analytics? Have you ever done that before to compare your videos?
Facebook analytics?
Sorry, YouTube analytics, create groups of your videos?
I've never done that, no.
So let me show you one really cool thing that you can do on YouTube. And I did this not that long ago to compare my videos with my face in it versus videos without my face in it. And you can actually see which ones perform better. So like you could do videos that have words in the text versus, thumbnails that have words in the text versus thumbnails that don't. If you come here to group, so here's a group of my top 10 videos that have no face in them, and I can compare it to another group of videos that I made that have my faces in them. And then you can kind of see, so here, no faces have gotten more views in the last 30 days than my top 10 videos with faces. And you can go and look at the click-through rate. So I got a 5.6% on my top 10 videos without my face versus a 4% with my top 10 videos with my face in there.
Which, for those that don't know, impressions is, correct me if I'm wrong, is someone that's looked at your title and thumbnail more than 3 or 5 seconds, and if they click or don't click, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think an impression is 1 second. I think
1 second. So if they scroll by, I don't know. I thought it said Daryl said 3 or 5
as an impression.
As an impression, yeah. Or is it because then that would mean it's anytime it's thrown at somebody. I thought it was like if somebody stops and looks at it and then moves on.
I'm not sure
how
many
know. We'll
seconds
see.
it is,
Mm-hmm.
but that's just measuring the click-through rate. But
that's actually good. That's why I didn't know that. I'm gonna have to, because I recently have put things into categories too, and I think I'm gonna check it out. Thank you, Malcolm.
Yeah, that's really, really pretty insightful. And so I've done the same thing for how long my videos are as well, and I can see if shorter videos versus longer videos versus a medium length videos perform better. And it's just, you can get some really cool insights by kind of grouping them like that. But that's analytical data to show that on my channel, at least, my thumbnails without my face in it just perform better than the ones with my face in it.
And that's not going to be true for everybody. But
Yeah.
I have a face that people don't want to click on.
Like Javier, for example, most of his views come from subscribers, or a lot of his views at least. I don't get a lot of views from my subscribers because I'm not really that consistent with my content. And so having your face in there, it may kind of like people instantly recognize your face. So it may be different on your channel.
Yeah, last 28 days, 76 non-subscribed, 23 subscribed. So that's still a lot, I guess, right? Mm-hmm. They went down though. Remember, it was a lot higher, or was it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember.
It was 55%.
No, it wasn't 50-50. No way. Really?
No, I don't think it's 50-50.
Last 90 days is 75-24. No, it couldn't have been that.
Okay.
But that's good. I mean, you had a couple of big videos.
Don't call me out, Smallhorn.
Okay. I believe it or not,
we'll throw it down.
Wrong a lot. A lot.
Ooh, this is a good one.
Yeah. So is keyword research pointless at this point?
Okay, hold on. No, I think we're coming from privilege when we're saying that. I think obviously we're at the point now where we're saying it doesn't. But when you're growing, of course, still do it. It's part of your recipe. You're gonna have to do it. What we're trying to tell you is don't use that as your number one source of like this is why you fail or succeed. Do it because you have to, but don't blame it or don't count on it.
Right. Don't think that is like because you found the score, that TubeBuddy score, that's the video that's going to make you blow up. I think that if you do some basic keyword research through those tools, not spending a ridiculous amount of time on them, then find with those words other videos that relate to that, see which those videos are on the top, then watch those people, see what they did, see if you could do it better. And I'm sure there a good portion of these people you could do a lot better, because you're like, how the hell did they get 100,000 views? That video is terrible and the audio is awful. So you do that video better. The more you do those kinds of things, it's like a train. It takes a minute for it to move down that track. It's step, but once it starts going, then it's like really going.
One of the things that's held me back in a lot of my growth, and I think holds a lot of people back as well, is their expectations on a video. So when TubeBuddy's telling you this is going to be a great video, and it doesn't, it does something negative to your brain and it discourages you from continuing to push. Likewise, if you but you see one realtor's video that does really well, and you say, well, I'm going to make the same video, and then you see that it doesn't do great for you, then you get discouraged and you get, I don't know if you guys talk about mental health here, but I'm a big advocate of that. And one of the things that I actually dealt with in my personal life is, depression. And especially when things don't go great with my videos, I tend to, lean on that a little more. So it's just something you got to watch out for. I would say subvert your expectations for the first year, 2 years, and just make it because you like it. Right. And if you happen to find something you love, then keep going it. But one of the worst things that happens to me is when I expect a video to do amazing and it doesn't, and it does something to my mental health where it actually discourages for me to keep pushing videos and keep posting, as opposed to likewise, black and white, if something does amazing, don't be super elated about it. Say, okay, that worked. Now what worked? And let's try to do it again, or let's try to make something similar.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I want to point out that keyword research and search engine optimization are two different things. So Christina and I'm pretty sure Christina also does some keyword research, right? We do research on the topics that we want to make videos about. And I like doing research to kind of figure out what people are actually searching for, what terms they are looking for. And maybe I'll get a video idea from that. But if I'm making a video about buying a home, I'll type that into YouTube and I'll research that and I'll see what the thumbnails are that are performing for that search look like, what the titles are, and kind of what those videos are, and how they're structured and how they perform as well. So I definitely do research into topics that I make, which is, essentially keyword research.
Right. I study more of what the video looks like, what the thumbnail looks like, what the title looks like, than I do what I used to do, which is try to find the magical recipe, the soup of keywords that was going to make my video blow up. I was so glad when you told me I didn't have to do that anymore. It was like I felt like I had my life back. But I still I used TubeBuddy to if I have an idea, I'm like, would that search term do well with my audience? I will type that into TubeBuddy. Of course I do. And I find out some things, and then I of course I ask other people, like, what do you think of this title, or do you think this would work for my audience? Because I'm still trying to figure it out. I kind of grew an audience overnight, so I don't really understand all their viewing behaviors just yet.
I think it's great to post it with fellow YouTubers as well. I don't know if I see some people post on the group, on the real estate YouTube group, and they're asking for advice. I haven't quite grown comfortable yet, to be honest with them. But once I do, I think it's a good source. Not that I'm saying that I would be, but I'm just saying in general, if you have a fellow group of people that are in YouTube and do it well, I think that's a really much better source than, the TubeBuddy thing is great, but depending on that, or a social media expert that hasn't done it. So is there a group? You said you're part of a group, though. It's probably Daryl Lee's group, huh, on Discord?
Yes.
Yeah, so never mind. I can't get on that. Actually, I think I want to hire him to do an hour consult. I want to see I want to do it. $600, but we'll do it.
I've known a few people who have done that.
That was
But you got it for free, though.
Well,
You won it.
I won it.
I think I saw the live where you won it. You pop up.
Our ticket.
He does lives where he just posts his video again, huh? It's not really a live.
I don't know.
Oh, anyways, whatever. Sorry.
He does a lot of live.
No.
He's got a Facebook group as well, the video makers and marketers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, video makers and marketers. I'm a mod there, but yeah, I won that. That was a video contest. That took me I was very
that changed
serious.
your life.
Yeah, sure did. Because honest God, I almost didn't do that video, but my friend said just do it because I saw these people doing these beautiful, epic, drone shot, feel of motion type videos. He's like, do your video. I'm like, he's gonna think I'm an idiot. He's like, just do it, and I did it.
And how many subscribers do you think you had then? Like 4,000?
No, I had 3,000. I had 3,000 subscribers when I won the contest. When I got to Vid Summit, I had 3,200. When I left Vid Summit, I had 8,000 subscribers.
Is that his? Platform?
Yeah.
Vid Summit's his.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to go to the next one then. I remember I had Vid Summit or influencer, and my dumb butt went to influencer. Looking back, I probably should have. There, it shows you where my priorities in my life were. Right, my priorities were like, how do I monetize what I have instead of growing my YouTube? So, whatever.
So we got a question here for Javier. Do you ever do videos outside of your home? If so, do they do any better / worse?
I don't think I've ever done it.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. But no, yeah. So you got a little YouTube studio, and you just, I think you do everything in your studio.
Yeah, no. I saw somebody on the group post that they're doing them outside or something, and I don't know. Why don't I do it? I'm sure they do good. I'm sure. I've just already found my style. That's it. That's the only thing. If your style's to be at a different house every time, then do that. I will say though, just watch out for your environment. Like, know how to use your camera. Know how to use the lighting well. Some people like overexpose their shot by being in the middle of the sun. But that's just me, man. It could be different for you.
Generally speaking, if you go outside, like, you got to expect that your audio is probably not going to be as good, and your lighting is not going to be as good, like, by default. You're going to have to put some real thought in order to get your audio and lighting.
You can control the circumstances better at home.
Yes.
Yep. And in terms of like efficiency and time, like, we can all just sit down. We have our little studio set up to sit down, hit record, and get going. But if you're actually out going about it, it's much more time consuming to set up your camera and actually film a video.
I'm looking at Small Heart's video right now, 1.7 million views.
Crazy.
It's just her talking and having, like, she's not outside, she's not doing anything. She's just herself carrying the video.
Right, but if you know.
Oh, you do at the very end. You do walk through when you're right. You're right.
And I'm constantly moving those like.
Oh, that's right.
I'm constantly moving myself around. Like, I'm not just staying in one corner. Like, I'll be talking here, and then I'll move up here, and then I have information that's coming up here. I'm trying to keep it as interesting to the eye as possible. It isn't just me sitting there, side by side. I could have done it like that, I know that won't work.
Yeah.
When you look at your analytics, when you're trying to grow, are you just looking at that video and seeing what works for that video, or do you look at your whole channel as a whole?
The whole channel.
Okay.
Yeah, it isn't just that video.
Yeah, I mean, you'll have outliers. I mean, there'll be videos that do really well, and you can't really figure it out. There's one agent, is his name Matt? He has a video from like 2-3 years ago, like 9 mistakes about buying a home, something like that. And it's like a terrible quality video.
That guy is that I suggested video. If I look at click that, it's all his video. Yeah. I literally just mooched off that guy's video.
Like that's not a good video to emulate. You shouldn't be find that video and be like, oh wow, how can I recreate that video? Because it's, the quality is not all that great or anything.
But it was 3 years old. I mean, you can't even. You got to look at what's happening now. You know, like you can't. That it was okay for 3 years ago. That was.
And he was the only one doing it then. So
him and there's that other
Andrew Finney.
Yeah, right. Andrew Feeney.
They were the two, like, how you told me when the first time, like, Javier, I was gonna kick your ass and I was gonna find a way to do it and all that stuff. That's how I felt with them. And once I caught up to them, I was just like, okay, I made it. I stopped growing. I stopped trying.
That's when I called you. When I was at the same numbers as Andrew Feeney and Matt Layton, that's when I called you, because I was like, now I feel like Javier will actually speak to me.
Oh,
he didn't even answer my call, but it went straight to voicemail. But then I was like, wow, my next step is to like beat his numbers. And so when I got to that point, I was like, oh, I did it.
Well, you called me again, you said.
I I did. I left you a message when I beat the numbers of Matt Layton and
you
them.
called me again.
That's what I called you and left you a message on your voicemail.
So if you guys learned a lesson is once you meet your goal, keep pushing. Don't just settle. I just from 20,000 to 30,000, I think I just was just like, all right, I'm the top guy, but I had no freaking clue. Me, Kevin was way bigger. Graham Stephan was way bigger. And look at that. The last 2 weeks, just changing my strategy, it's blown up even more. So please do not settle. All right, Malcolm, I hope you're okay. Let's have a good one.
He says, well, what are your thoughts on videos of agents driving around? Okay, I have a really good analogy of this. Do you really want to be next to or behind the guy that is sitting there doing a live stream as he's driving around town? It is a safety hazard, and it makes you look like an idiot. I'm sorry if you're the agent that drives and does live streams. I don't care if you're in traffic or not. It makes you look stupid. In my opinion, I would not like. Soon as I see an agent talking while they're in their car driving, not stopped driving, I turn it off. I'm like, you're an idiot. You have nothing that I want to hear.
Yeah, I mean, somebody else could drive.
What about videos?
Film out the window, though.
What'd you say, Javier?
Those are lives, but what about videos?
If you're driving?
No, you said that for live videos that are people are driving, they're dumb. But what if it's a video? Because I think that guy posted something on the group, and I actually saw a few of his videos, and I think he does make videos where either he's parked in his car or I don't know if he's driving necessarily.
If you're parked, that's a totally different story. But if you're driving and you're looking at your phone as you're driving, that is dumb. In my opinion, it makes you look like you're only concerned about seeing yourself on camera instead of the people that you're driving around. Your safety is not even a consideration for all the other people around you. I'm a mom. When I see that, I think you look like an idiot.
So rephrasing the question, what do you believe? What's your thoughts on a car studio instead of having a studio at home? Let's say he's not driving around.
You can totally do that.
I think,
the sound quality is really good in the car.
Aside from the safety factor, I think those types of videos could do really well, and I could see buyers finding a lot of value in those. And again, that would be going after that search traffic. Something like that's probably not going to get much from suggested video or browse video. But if somebody happened to type in, so people don't typically go to YouTube and type in like a community name, but if they did and that came up, that could be pretty valuable. Or if you did like top 10 communities in your city or something like that. I mean, I've gotten B-roll for my videos that way, where I'll drive and I'll hold my camera out the window. Don't get mad at me, Christina, but I'll hold my camera out the window and get some footage of me driving through communities, and I've used that in some of my videos as well. I think it's good B-roll.
YouTube, GoPros have a clamp. I've done that. I have a clamp, like a clamp that hooks to the end. You put a GoPro on, and you can do that with your GoPro. I mean, there's no reason to be your hands. What is that? Your hands on the wheel. There's no reason to be like, you have a spouse. They could drive you around for 5 minutes. I don't know.
Let me ask you a question. How do you script your videos? Like I've watched a few of them yesterday, and it seems like you're much more just like, you just kind of, maybe you have some bullet points and you just kind of wing it. Is that how you kind of film your videos? Or I'm guessing you don't have I know you don't have a detailed script that you're reading off of.
It's embarrassing.
You just have like a topic and you just kind of ramble on and you kind of edit it down into
unless I'm talking about a specific loan or a down payment assistance program where I need to have this or else I'm going to be in trouble or they're going to have commenters calling me out on it. It's just pure experience. I think it's a combination of experience and once again, sorry to float my boat, but I happen to have somewhat of an attitude that I can I can joke around with myself if I make a mistake or just go with the flow, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. I've been a very good bullshitter my whole entire life. So it just works well that I can speak and make it work and kind of improvise and do all kinds of stuff. I think people also like the live shows because they start realizing like, hey, this is the same freaking guy. It's not a different personality on the video. So I don't prepare it. Sounds bad, but
it's not bad.
People that are natural or just do so much better. It's just people.
I think you got that right, honestly. Because I think when you overanalyze and you script everything to death, you sound like a robot.
Yeah, this is the worst when people are like doing a video and then they do this. Right? They're like,
you can see their eyes going as they're reading their script.
Like, dude, come on. The YouTube audience knows better than that. They just.
I hate when they're looking at themselves in the viewfinder instead of in the
Oh yeah,
camera.
these
That
dude.
drives me insane.
There's like vloggers that people have millions of views that have that. I'm like, why is she looking at the viewfinder? Just
it
look at the lens.
drives me crazy.
Because they love looking at each of themselves. That's why.
Well, I mean, one benefit to you doing it that way, though, is you can put out a lot more content. Like the amount of time it takes you to film one of those things is like super significantly smaller than if you actually scripted out something. So, I mean, there's definitely no negative to doing that.
Yeah, I think people's should. I don't know how to practice this, but you want to be enjoyable to listen to. I mean, watch one of Smallhorn's videos. She's fun to watch. And if you're afraid, well, people won't like my attitude. Well, you think everyone loves me? You think everyone? No, there's a lot of people that don't like me. They tell me, oh, you're too pessimist, or your music's too loud, or this, that, or the other, or someone that would said, what's your accent from? Like, I have an accent. I guess I have an accent. So you're gonna find your group of people, but you have to have something that makes you enjoyable to listen to. Find your stick and stick to it, I suppose, just like an entertainment.
People don't like, there's lots of people that don't like me. Like, they'll be like, this lady has no idea what she's talking about. She's an idiot. Oh, I guess somebody deflated her head this morning. And like I get all sorts of stuff. I get made fun of for my hair. I get made fun of for my body shape. I get, like one of my videos, for some reason, the main comment, nasty comment, was about my boobs, which I thought was really weird.
Yeah, we don't have that issue.
Yeah, like it's gonna happen.
Hopefully.
And like Javier had said earlier, if you get a big audience on a video, you're gonna count on the fact you're not gonna get all glowing remarks.
That's how you know you're growing, though, is when you start getting negative comments. That's when I've made a lot of negative comments right now. I was like, oh, that's great. But if you look at the like to dislike ratio, it's so much more likes, though.
Yeah, and like, don't sweat it if you get dislikes. Don't, unless there's like an obvious amount of dislikes ratio is higher than your like ratio. I don't even notice the thumbs up and thumbs down. I look for the comments. I want comments. That's what I could care. That's what I care about. I don't care about these things. This is silliness, and I like the analytics. I want to make sure that they're watching for a good 60% of that video.
Please look at your analytics. I basically the last year never looked at my analytics. Please don't do that.
Hey, Christina, so how do you script out your videos? Do you typically script it out, or you have bullet points, or script out parts of it and wing it the other part?
I kind of pull out some facts like through the old Google webs or whatever, but I just talk like he talks. And then when those facts that I took out from the old Google webs, that's what I put at the bottom. Because I'm not going to remember, 7.5% of people, blah, 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 blah. Is it that important that I say it? No. I'm just going to go throw that at the bottom, Which
is so crazy because we're educational channels, yet we don't really, people think that you're going to prepare and have this master thesis. But those people that do over prepare and have every single fact about everything are the ones that go to our videos that try to promote their channel.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You have to have personality if you're in education, I think.
Yeah. Well, like they call it, somebody's called it edutainment.
That's what it is. It's not just education. It's because those educational channels won't do great. We have to be entertaining and educating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the important thing. Yeah. You have to be entertaining and relatable, and they have to kind of build that relationship with you.
Nick says, the past few months, I kept my camera going on in my car, on my car mount, and have been taping everything. Most of it's useless, but I have a lot I can actually edit and work with. My question was more meant to gauge the public and how they'll take it. Well, if your audience likes it, you'll know. Make sure your audio is good. That's going to make the biggest, since you're just going to be sitting in your car, so lighting isn't going to be the biggest issue. You're going to make sure that audio is.
Hold on, and also, I think what traction. I want to look at those analytics. Who's watching those? And also, I noticed many YouTubers stick to gyro format. I have none of the YouTubers I watch do that. So don't just because your bubble does it doesn't mean everyone's doing it. Yeah. Sorry,
I don't know anybody that does that.
I don't know anyone that does it. It's just your bubble. Like that's one thing that you get bubble bias. Or like, oh, everyone's doing this. No, it's just your bubble that the algorithm's throwing at you, because you can learn a lot from the algorithm of what they throw to you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's true.
I just got my Parrot podcaster. What is that?
I don't know what a Parrot podcaster is.
That a thing?
I hope no porn comes up when I Google it.
Parrot. Bill Olsen will probably come up. Parrot podcaster.
Looks like a light. Oh, it's like a teleprompter. Oh.
I gotta go.
You're not doing a TV show, man.
Yeah, that's probably a good time to call it a day, guys.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right.
Good night, everybody, or good day,
night,
good afternoon.
Good morning. Let us know if you want more of this, and please comment if you watch this after the fact.
Most people on Facebook don't watch it after the fact.
Really?
I feel like YouTube does it better than Facebook when it comes to these things.
Yeah, we'll see.
Let's prove it wrong. Facebook, comment if you watch this after the fact.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Do I have to leave something? Can I live studio? Or are you just going to take us off live? Oh, am I
Just take it off.
Just hang tight. Hang tight.